But I am the bougie cowgirl. I was called the bougie cowgirl because I'm that girl that'll show up with cow shit on her boots and she'll still carry her Louis Vuitton. Because then I love doing that. I ain't gonna lie. Like I like having nice things and
You were 100% that.
oh yeah, no. And it's like my life is a mess. It's like a southern mess. And I want to share that with y'all. Action. Hi y'all. My name is Mariah, and with this mic, I'm going to be telling you about my testimony in my trials and tribulations. I'm going to talk about how I got to the place where I'm at right now to be able to do this. I'll tell you right now, like 3 years ago, Mariah, if you were to tell her she'd be doing this, she'd be like, no, you're joking. Like, there's no way. But I've been trying to find my purpose in the last 2 years because something like really big happened in my life that I have helped people along the way, and I have kind of shared like little bits of my story, but I have not actually shared the full story yet. And so this is the opportunity, and I hope this podcast and this show and channel, whatever you want to think it is, helps reach women out there, understand like the way to grow in a helping a sense and not just like be dictated in one role or one model. I think our generation fails that a little bit because we just see what is supposed to be expected. In all reality, there's no expectation for perfection because there's no such thing as perfection. So yeah, I would like to take this because I just want to be able to connect with you. And I mean, I hope that this podcast makes you laugh. I hope this makes you cry. And I hope we have memories together to where you can share with me on what happens in your life and how this has affected you. Just to start from the beginning, like I am a cowgirl in a sense of like the way I was raised is very Southern. My grandma and my grandpa put those roots on my daddy's side. No, nothing offense to my mama's side, I'm not going to lie, but they're not like big into it. And a part of my testimony I do have with me is Jeremy. So he's going to be on this because he's a big part of it and able to do what I'm destined to do in a sense. So he will come in later, but you might see me looking at him because like, I don't know, it's very comforting to have someone that understands and believes in you. I'm not going to cry, so I'm going to try not to cry. So we're going to go to the next topic. I am going to probably cry. All right, back on topic. Okay, so I was raised very Southern. And so I live on land. I think a cowgirl, you don't got to know how to do a certain thing. But, like, to me, like, cowgirls and cowboys, it's a person and an individual that knows their worth, works their ass off to get what they want. They believe in the higher ground or like in the moral sense of like if something doesn't seem right, then they stand up for what's truly believed. And so, yeah, but I do live on a farm. Born and raised, actually, we grew up on a, not like a all-purpose farm, but like the only thing we like had to buy growing up was milk and cheese until I think we had a dairy cow at one point, but it was so hot in Texas that like you don't. Having a dairy cow on a farm, like it's really hard to have.
There's dairy farms in Texas.
Yeah, but not like small town country. Yeah. No. I think we had like one dairy farm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I grew up there, very humble. The only thing that I would say, like I will never talk bad about my mom and daddy. I mean, we have our trials and tribulations, but I'll never talk bad about my parents because honestly, just dealing with me alone, like that right there in its own.
Yeah, they deserve.
Yes, God picked my parents for a reason, and I will always genuinely love Jesus Christ for that because, like, I could only imagine if I had a different dad or if I had a different type of mother. Like, it's just, like, I could only imagine. But the only thing I could say was, like, growing up, my dad loved me so much that he protected me from the outside world. And so whenever I was raised very confident in a sense of, like, I was not, like, spoiled rotten, but I was, like, I will admit, like, I was the girl at the Hunt County Fair. I probably shouldn't have said Hunt County. Anyways, if you're going to find me, I got guns. I'm very protected. But anyways, I was that girl at the Hunt County Fair with the rhinestone belt, with the hot pink zebra shirt, like with the brand new whip. Like, it was just like I had to have everything like bougie. And so, like,
I can see that.
I've always been this way. And so, like, growing up, like, there was never I never saw evil. And I think that whenever I got into the real world, that hurt me more than anything, because I got when I got the big job in the city. Oh man, it was great. I didn't think there was no wrong. I was 19, blonde haired, blue eyed, beautiful girl, like straight off the farm. Yes, I talk like this, and you go into the city and like you get attention from men. And at first I'm just thinking, oh, everybody's so nice. Like, yes, like this is great, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I got in trouble. So I will never, if I ever do have the chance to have a kid or like I will never lie or like deceive or not, like I will let them know the honest truth. And I think that's a very big important part, is because I got drugged and taken advantage of, and
Wow.
I'll never be able to get that back. And so, and I do not blame my father. Like one night, like this is later down the road, just recently, I want to say about a year ago, because like he finally found out like everything that happened to me. Yeah. And he's like, he said, that's not my fault. And I was like, Daddy, I'm not blaming you. Like, I do not blame my daddy. God gives us this amazing thing called free will.
Yeah.
And I think with free will, you get to choose your own path. It's just like raising a child. Like, I mean, you have kids, so it's like when you raise a kid, like you teach them the best that you can. And then when they leave the nest, it's up to you. And I truly believe that, like with God and like with Christ, like you are laid a foundation. And he gives you what you need. He gives you his commandments. He gives you the rules. And it's up to you to follow them. Do I think, like, and that's another thing, like, do I think I'm perfect? Hell to the no. You will hear me cuss on this podcast. You will hear me talk about things that are so uncomfortable that it's like, oh my gosh, is this the same girl that had mentioned this show? Is this the same person? Like, there's no way. Because I am really 100% real. Like, my job in front of this microphone is, yes, to tell y'all and to let you know a little bit about myself, but it is to also let you know, like, nobody's perfect. And at the end of the day, people can have their opinions about you because this is America. Now I'm saying go to like a different continent. Like, no, I'm sure like you get like butchered or something. But here in America, you have your own opinion. But at the end of the day, the only person that can judge my actions and really hurt me and like give me the consequence is the man upstairs. And going within that, it's just like, so after that happened, my dad was like, that's not my fault. I'm like, I never said it was. Like, I never will ever let my father, because we have free will. And so like going out into the city, that happened to me, that made me reserved. And so I pulled back a little bit. And and then that's whenever like I didn't realize what was happening. This guy was just really nice to me. And this is like the second thing that happened in my life. And like, we'll go more into depth on each thing that's like in different episodes and like stories. But like, I'm giving y'all the gist of it at the first, because I'm letting you know, like, I've literally been through the ringer in a sense of, like, stuff has happened. So, like, after that, and I was young, and then I was, like, I gotten older. I think I was, like, 22. I met this person. I'm not going to say names because it does not matter. But I got in a relationship with this guy, and I thought, oh, he's going to protect me. Because, like, once you get something taken away from you that you did not give permission for, it hurts. And what hurts more is, like, afterwards, he didn't know. And I'm like, how do you not know? Like, like, how do you not know a woman saying no? Like, that's clearly, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's one of those things where, like, you take that, and now, like, I help people that have gone through that, and I, like, have helped them see, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I was so mad at God for it, I stopped believing in him for a little bit. Because I was like, God, I follow the rules. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, the one rule I broke was I had sex before marriage, but, like, I shouldn't be punished for that. Like, God's not a punishing God. Like, why would he do this to me? But that's whenever I was young, I was not understanding, and I literally broke him off. I didn't care. And then I went back to him, and then I got tattooed because I thought, oh, let's remember this moment. Like, I'm going back to God. So I get tattooed. Now I hate the tattoo because it reminds me every single day. And it's just like, damn. But at the same time, I was like, okay, and I ended up getting rebaptized, which that's a whole nother story itself. Like, we're not even going to get into that right now because I'm Catholic.
I want to hear that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm Christian Catholic, and once you get baptized once, you're not supposed to get baptized again.
Christian Catholic, explain that.
So I'm cradle, born and raised Catholic, but I consider myself a Christian as well. So, like, my mom, like, always says, like, we're Christian Catholic. Like, no matter what, because when people hear the word, oh, you're Catholic, they just go to, like, Lululand, like, Loopy Land.
Tradition.
Yes,
Yeah.
or it's not even that.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, you're part of a cult, or oh, you're part of something crazy. Oh, you're priest. Like, okay, first off, I'm gonna back you up right there. Okay. At the end of the day, it's a traditional religion, and I love it. And I've also feared away from it because yes, I mean, after I graduated high school, I was like, I want to explore the churches. I want to see what's out there. I want to know. And so I did go to every different church. Like I went to Episcopalian, I went to a Methodist, I went to a original Baptist, like Soul Baptist. Like I went to every church out there to see where I belonged. And I think that's a beautiful gift because at the end of the day, no matter how you find Jesus, no matter, okay, and here's like a bigger thing. If you believe in something, like you can say, I don't believe in God. Okay, well, do you believe in faith? Yes. Do you have hope? Like, are you hopeful? Yes. I'm like, okay, right there, that feeling, that right there itself, that is believing in something. We call him God because he came and we have scriptures that we believe in. And it's one of those things like everybody believes in the same thing. And it's like if I don't put Christian Catholic in front of it, people do, or they're like, oh, you're different. Like, no, I'm still a Christian. I just believe in traditional methods, which is nice because we'll get, that's a whole nother topic. We're going to go back to the point because that is a whole nother topic, and I will not bash on anybody's way of believing. I'm letting everyone know right now, like I'm not going to sit here and judge people's way of believing, but I do think traditional is just an easier way for me because my personality is a lot as it is. Like I'm just a lot myself, and so like having something already structured for me, I'm Gucci with it. Okay, like I'm settled. I'm good. But it made me go back to the church, and then I met this guy, and I thought, oh, he's the one. But I was really young.
How old were you?
I was 22. He was 29, 30.
Yeah.
And I think that age difference, because I was looking at him as a protector, and I probably leaned on him too hard in a sense of relied on him. That does not give an excuse to lay your hands on a woman. I don't care who you are. You lay your hands on a woman, you should, like, that is not okay.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I do not believe that is okay whatsoever. I do not believe that there's any form or fashion of an excuse. If a woman really upsets you that bad, yes, there's other routes to take, but laying your hands on a woman is not okay. But I was with this guy. I mean, it was great for a year and a half. I saw him as Prince Charming. Like, dude, I mean, he showed me places. I was like in a whole nother world. I fell so hard for him that he was like my saving grace, like through everything. And like, he was my best friend at the time. It wasn't until I think like financially things got worse, or like, cause like I got in a really bad wreck in 2019. I got hit by an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
So that was my first 18-wheeler wreck. And then, and I can't talk about that much, like that one's off limits. So, but I can say like I was hit by an 18-wheeler in 2019. And like that whole situation, I just think like my immaturity, I think his, I'm not going to go in details on the stuff that the explanation of why he was doing what he's doing, but like there are certain things that like I think factored into it, because his real personality, I think, is still amazing. I think that if you ever get influenced by anything in your life, it can make you toxic. It can change your out view. It can change like anything in your condition. And again, I do not think it's okay to lay your hands on a woman, but I also think like when I was growing up, I was that girl that was like, oh, if a man ever laid his hands on me, I swear, like if that ever happened to me, like I would never, like that will never happen to me. And then like my friend that was in that situation, I was like, you just need to leave, blah, 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 blah. But like going into it, and like once you're finally in it, I now understand. Like it's not easy to just leave, because it's one of those things where it's like you care about that person. You saw that person in their beginning, and you're like,
it's a lot of mixed emotions.
Yeah, and it's like I can get him back to that. But the amount of abuse that I went through and I took, because I am one of those, like, again, I'm Southern raised. And like when you're with a man that you love and that you give yourself to and that you like pretty much like are loyal to, I'm loyal to a fault, and it gets me in trouble. Like, it gets me in so much trouble, because I'm that person that's like, no, I'm determined to fix this. No, I'm determined. Like, I know his personality. I know who he is. But at the end of the day, that's who he was all along.
Yeah.
It's just like, you've got to wake up and understand, okay, honey, enough is enough. You can be fine on your own. It was just like me going vulnerable, and that's like my biggest like respect and like understanding for people is like heal first. Like if I date, I went on a date with this guy, and I could tell like the relationship was great. We sparked, everything was awesome. I thought he was an amazing person. But a little red flag would pop up. Like if like I did something, or like if I said something and like it was just like, oh my God, like it was like a night and day person. And I was like, oh yeah, no, you still got healing to do. Yeah. And that's okay. And like we're still good friends. Like that's cool. Like you do you, honey, I'll do me. Like I'm always here for you. And like there's always funny ways of God working out. But now going back to the like abuse thing, like going through all of that, after like I finally, like for me to finally get away from all of it was we had to call the cops because I walked in on something I shouldn't have walked in on, and he did not like that. And yeah, I had to call the cops to come save me, get my stuff. And that was that was one of the times my daddy figured out what was going on. But like I'm very close to my family, and so like I missed a lot of events. I missed one of my sister's graduations. I missed And like I went to work one time and I put so much makeup on trying to like hide like the bruises and everything, and like the beat up lip and stuff. And it's just like crazy. Like even when someone had to come pick me up for my doctor's appointment, like I had like bruises and I had a broken nose and stuff. And it's just like I hid it so well because I refused to let people know to have pride. Like I was like, I have so much pride. Like I refuse to let people know like I'm hurting, or I refuse to let anybody know like that whole entire thing. And so, like, I swallowed it for a long time, and then I tried to justify it, and then I let him back into my life. But I was not at his house. Like, it wasn't, we tried to be not friends, but it was a weird thing. Like, it was more like Stockholm Syndrome, because, like, I didn't leave the house. Like, I cooked, I cleaned, like, and I was not a good, like, I wasn't a good wife or girlfriend, but I was young, like, at that age, like, for his age and my age, that was not okay. Like, that should have never been in the cards to do. That should have never been in the cards as a factor at all, period. And I just think that, like if I were to meet him now, like, that's where it's like you never know. But I think that's why God does everything for a reason. Yeah. Because after that, I met a girl later down the road, and it was like, it was crazy because I helped her in her situation before her and her man got too toxic to where they had a kid. So before it got too bad, like I was able to help her through it, and she was just like, thank you. And I was like, you're welcome. But it was just support there. And like, it took me up until my friend, like a really good friend of mine, I got a message and she was like, I will not watch you kill yourself anymore. She's like, that's what you're doing. You are literally allowing a form of someone to kill you. And it's like taking your body, beating it down. Like that's literally hurting you. It takes years off your life. And she was like, I've been your friend for a long time now, and I'm not going to sit by and watch you. And, like, that right there, like, that hurt a lot, and it woke me up a little bit. And that's when I started to not fight back, but, like, stand up for myself. Yeah. But, again, sometimes the best thing to do is just the best strength to show, like, your strength is to walk away. Yeah. Like, walking away from something like that, walking away.
It's hard to do sometimes, though, when you're, like...
Yeah. No, it's really hard.
Invested in it. Or you love someone, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, though. Like, I feel like if you have a love that's only 2 years in, like, yes, I do agree. Like, it is hard to walk away. Now, it'd be hard. I would say it'd be harder for, like, someone that's been, like, married or together 10 years. Yeah, that's. Sure. I will say that's probably a little harder. I'm not in that.
With kids or something.
Yeah, and, like, with kids. Like, that's in a different wheelhouse. Yeah. And so, like, my biggest thing is just to be there for a woman. Like, hey, you just need to freaking talk. All right. And, like, my dad's main saying, like, is when you hang around dog shit, you're going to smell like dog shit. So, like, if you hang around someone. That. Yeah. Well, it's like if you hang around someone that's confident and, like, vibrant and, like, knows who she is, you're going to become that way. You're going to become like, oh, okay. If she can do it, I can do it. Yeah. I'm that way. And, honestly, just recently, I had to, like, there's this girl that I care about. I think she's really awesome. I just met her not too long ago through a mutual date kind of thing. And, I pray for her because she's in a situation that she's worth more. And I really pray that she wakes up one day and realizes it, like that she's being taken advantage of and that she deserves so much better, because that's one thing that I like will absolutely hate and that I wish I realized back then is when there are two toxic people together, or no, when there's two great people together, but together they're toxic, just imagine how much time you're wasting when there is your soulmate and, like, the person that can make you happy literally waiting for you. Like God has made somebody for you. So you're wasting your time, your energy, and this person, like trying to hold on to them, like trying to love them, trying to get them to see your value when you don't realize God has someone already ready for you. You're just putting all this effort into something that's useless. Like you're talking to a brick wall. It's like putting a horse to water and they don't drink. Well, it's like, that's insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting different results. Sorry, y'all. Doing the same thing but expecting different results. Yeah. That's called insanity. And so we're all a little insane because we all want to make shit work or like prove something to someone.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just up to us to really like know that when you're with someone that's toxic. Now, I will say, like, when you're with someone and then you'll have like a bad patch, that's different. Yeah. Like, everybody goes through that rut. There's going to be a rut phase because it's like a change happened. Yeah. Like, anytime there's change, you have to learn to adapt. Mm-hmm. And I will say, like, that's probably the biggest thing is, like, adapting. Because I know couples that have been together since, like, the high school sweetheart. And, like, they have
I've always admired that, but I haven't.
No, I mean, it's admirable.
That didn't happen for me.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, my high school sweetheart, you know who you are. I mean, he knows. He's going to listen to this. He already is ready for it. But he's just one of those people because, like, me and him, like, in the beginning, like, he laid the foundation for all of this. I don't think that, like,
good foundation or bad foundation?
A foundation. I will not talk dirt on him, but, like, we were young. Like, when you're young,
yeah,
like, you do stupid stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, he's, like...
You got to live to learn.
Yes, you got to live to learn. The problem with him was he's very stubborn. You know you are. You're stubborn because
all of us are stubborn.
Yeah, but he'll do the same thing over and over again and think that he got away with it. I'm like...
I feel him on that. I do the same thing.
You cheat over and over again expecting a different result?
No, for the cameras, I don't cheat. No cheating.
No, I know you don't. I'm just saying that was his thing. Yeah. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Like... trying to do something to make it work, that's different. I'm talking about with him being stubborn and he knows who he is. Yeah. Like, every time, he thought he got away with it.
He did?
Oh, he thought he got away with it. No, that was when my first, like, psycho streak came out. I'm going to let y'all know right now. If I'm dating somebody and you do that first psycho streak.
You said first, so there was more.
Oh, yeah, no, there was more. I'm pretty sure Carrie Underwood wrote the song about me slashing tires and taking a 2x4, writing the name in the leather.
That's about you, 100%.
100%. No, he turned, this was the biggest thing. Like, this was when my psycho streak started. Yeah. Is, we were dating. And back in the day, the biggest thing in high school was if you're dating, then you have your boyfriend or girlfriend's name in their Twitter bio.
Yes, I remember that.
So I get on my Twitter because...
I'm going to bring that back.
No, I know. But my friend texted me and she's like, you break up? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? She was like, you're not in his bio anymore. And I was like, excuse me?
That means something.
Yeah, that meant something. I was like, excuse me? And so, like, I looked, didn't have his location. I was like, okay.
You had his location?
He turned it off. So I was like a bloodhound. Now, women, you know that this happens. I was like a damn bloodhound. I found the motherfucker. I found him without GPS, anything. I hopped literally this 8-foot gate, and all you hear is, what the fuck? And, like, his guy friends are like, oh, damn, dude. Like, I walk up, and I said, you want to take me out of your Twitter bio? You want to do that? All right, we're fucking done. Bye. You just made the worst mistake of your life. And I walked away, and they're all like, oh, damn. And, like, hey, at the time, like, he had people in his ear because they, like, the guy friends, like, wanted him to break up with me. Because they wanted me. That's what he didn't understand.
Did they really want you, though?
100%. I found out later down the road, yeah. No. They each hit me up after high school when I blew up, which is when I got my boob job, and I actually worked out and looked good. Then they, like, hit me back up, and I'm like, okay, y'all are cute. So, no, that was the foundation of everything in the sense of, like, anything that life threw at me, I've been through it. I've handled it until, like, that first situation happened, and I was like, whoa. And then the second situation happened, and I was like, man, I'm just getting knocked down. Like, I thought I had been through it all. The worst of the worst. Up until 2 years ago. After the abusive relationship, I was living my best life. We will talk about that summer another time because that's a good memory, and we want to enjoy that one.
Different episode.
We're going to enjoy that one. I have it ready for y'all. But during that summer, I met this amazing, wild, crazy dude. Like, I mean, golly, like, you know your soulmate. Like, I wouldn't say he was that. I would say that he was my best friend. I mean, we went through a lot of stuff together, and like, I'm actually gonna ask like one of the girls on here because like we just it was cool because like the way we met, like okay, I'll give you a clip of it. I headbutted him the first night and bailed him out of jail the next day. Like
You headbutt him?
yeah, I headbutt him because
What did he go to jail for though?
Because he was drunk, intoxicated, and I was the one that headbutted him, and he couldn't run from the cops, kind of thing. And yeah, he ended up in jail. And
I want to hear that story.
oh man, it's a good one. It's a good one, but we're not gonna go into it too much because that's that summer.
Yeah.
But I thought I had went through it all until I met this guy, and at first, when I first met him, he was addicted to drugs. He was an alcoholic. He was wild as shit. Like I mean. He had a heart. Like, I think that his intentions were always good, but, like, he didn't realize what he was doing in the time, so he hurt a lot of people along the way.
Yeah.
And, like, at first, like, I was also not in the right mindset because, like, I had just got out of an abusive relationship, so I did turn to drugs. I got heavy and loved on cocaine and
Really?
Molly and acid. And,
Wow.
yeah, so it was like...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was lost. I thought, okay, well, screw it. Like, God put me through that. Like, nothing else can happen. Might as well just live my best life. And, like, me and God have a relationship where it's, like, give and take. And I think that's why, like, people always wonder, why does God do this to a woman? Like, why does God kill children? Why does this happen to me? Like, I don't understand. Okay, stop asking so much and wonder so much on the why and think about what you can do with it. Like, I understand it's going to hurt. Everybody's going to hurt. Like, no matter what happens, it's going to fucking hurt. But when you realize what the purpose is for, we would never have a cure to cancer if someone that was meaningful didn't die of cancer. Like, whoever invented it or, like, wanted to work on it, they lost someone to cancer. And so they're like, we're going to find a freaking cure because someone lost it. So it's like God does these different things and like people are so curious and like want an explanation when at the end of the day, do you give an explanation when you mess up? Do you sit there and pretty much like describe if you like mess up, oh, I'm going to tell the world about it? No, you don't. You figure it out and you move forward. Yeah. And so whenever I met him, we were wild, we were having fun. He was like my best friend. We went through a lot of stuff. We went through trials and tribulations, and no relationship is perfect. But golly, like, he was pretty damn close to it. I mean, but he also, like, he was that person that, like, I believed in him. Like, when I first met him, like, yeah, he was wild. But slowly, over time, I got him to quit drugs. He went back to fighting for his custody of his kid. And because when I first met him, I didn't know he had a kid. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know he had an ex-wife. I did not know any of that. For, like, the first 6 to 8 months, we were, like, together. And at first, we were just roommates. Like, I saw him sleeping in his truck because we were, like, over in Party Cove having fun. And, like, I saw him sleep in his truck a couple times. And I was like, do you need somewhere to stay? So he, like, stayed in my spare bedroom or on my couch. And then he was, like, my roommate for a little bit. And we were just friends because I had literally sworn off men. And, like, even that, like, y'all, I don't know the proper term, forgive me, but I am Southern, so, I mean, I'm not gay. But, like, I did turn to women because I was like, men hurt me. I was like, I don't want to do this.
When you say turn to women, what do you mean? Like,
is details. My mama listening to him, though? Like,
yeah, mama's going to be listening, too.
No, I found comfort in, like, relationships with women.
You mean, like, friendships or, like?
You really want me to say? All right, y'all, he's calling me out.
I want him to say it.
I had sexual intercourse with women. I was in relationships with women, like, because
So not anymore. That's just.
No, I think that was just a really bad phase in my life. I mean, it wasn't a lot. Like, I think it was. And then whenever, like, no, it was one girl.
Yeah.
And then, like, it just, like, it felt wrong in a sense of not, like, wrong as in, like, it's a bad thing to do. I'm not talking bad on anything. It's your life. It's your freedom. Yeah, I'm not judging anybody. But for me personally, you just know.
Yeah.
And I think that I was just really hurt that, like, I thought all men were the same. And so when I met Ben and, like, he helped me too, and he was just my friend through a lot of it. Because I didn't tell people about my situation. Yeah. I didn't do any of that. And, like, I hurt a couple people too in a lot of those friendships in the beginning with Ben. And now to this day, like one of my really good friends, like I'm just glad that she forgave me a lot of stuff that we did. And like knowing him, like pretty much like we had a relationship, we grew his business. I mean, my dad helped a lot in that too. And he was a great guy. And I thought nothing get better than this. He asked my dad for permission to marry me, and he got down on one knee and
He did it the right way.
He proposed to me like 3 times before he asked my dad's permission. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you gotta ask my daddy. No, but my dad's a very intimidating man. He's about 6'4",
Yeah, I've
big
seen
built.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just a big boy. Like he's
Yeah.
6'4". He's Southern. He's a farmer. He's big built, and so like I get it. Like in our family, like we're just very big people. And so, like, I got it. And so when he did ask permission and I said yes, and he turned his life around, he was doing really good. I will say this, and I will not regret it. I helped him get his relationship back on track with his family, with his friends, and with other people. Like, that man did not always want to do right. And I literally had to sit down. Like, it literally sometimes would be like 2-hour sessions of me talking to him and explaining to him exactly what I'm saying now. Like, not always the why to God, not always the why and understanding. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, listen, like, it happens. Like, okay, and like I helped him through a lot. I talked him out of suicide multiple times. I talked him out of things that have happened to him in his life. He told me secrets that he's never told anyone. He told me stuff that he didn't tell his parents. And like, at first, like, when you have a relationship where there's complete like trust and you're just like, whoa, did I really need to know that? Like, I don't, like, I'm telling you right now, if your partner doesn't tell you all your secrets, let it go. Because some of the things he told me, like, I was like, dang gum, I wish you didn't tell me that. Like, I could have gone my whole life without you telling me that. But he was so comfortable with me.
Yeah.
He would tell me. And so, like, we built a relationship. And by the time of our, like, end of our relationship, I was like, oh, wow, like, I finally found someone that respects me. Like, he would get me flowers. Like, he would open my door. Like, again, there was always those fighting days where we would duke it out in a sense, not literally, duke it out in a sense of, like, words and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, it's just one of those things. And like, so having him was a blessing. And like he said, like at this point in my life, I'm thinking, wow, I have it all. I have a great man. I have a great family. I have a great daddy that has helped us. Like he helped us with a lot of the business startup with Benjamin. We borrowed a lot of money from Dad, and we were successful, and it was on the right track. Like we were so successful with the business that he was like, go back to college. Like, I'll pay for it. He was like, be a stay-at-home
Really?
dog mom. And I was like, awesome. Like, I'm literally living the dream. And he started traveling more for work. I got to stay home and go to college. And on 9/11, 2022, let's back up for a second. Because there's something important. I think God does everything for a reason.
Absolutely.
And I was very blessed to have this moment. And I will show you the message. That's the crazy part. Is like people when like that's why I haven't really told my story a lot, because when I do tell it, people are like, no. Like, I believe in miracles. Like, I believe that God can do amazing things. He does everything for a reason. And I think that all of my trials and everything that happened to me, I think he gave me this one biscuit. Like, he knew the devil was at work. I think he knew, like, the devil was doing stuff. But he's like, Mariah, I'm going to give you this token. Like, here, hold on to this token. Because a really, really good friend of mine, now she's my really, really, really good friend. At the time, didn't really know her that well. I knew of her. I knew she was around town. Like, I knew mutual friends. We had never really hung out or, like, really, really talked. But she had lost her boyfriend that she was with for a very long time. And, like, I saw her post, and she lost him in July. And so this was in September. I reached out to her in August saying, I'm praying for you. But then I reached out to her again on September 7th. So 9/7. I reached out to her, and I was like, I know there's no words that I can tell or say to help you in any form, fashion, or way. But if you ever need someone just to cry with you or just to talk, we'll have a movie night. I'll get chips and ice cream, and we can, I'll be there for you. And I think she said, I hope you never have to go through this. And that just like hurt me. And Benjamin had just come home from working, like on the road, because he drove around a lot for working and stuff. And he had just come home. We were watching a movie. I put my phone down and I held on to him. Like I rolled over and held him so tight. And I was like, I could never imagine. My tummy's growling, y'all. I literally was like, I could never imagine losing you. Like, please don't ever leave me. And he, like, we're laying down. I'm on him. He, like, sits up and has me sit up to him. And he's like, Mariah, you're one of the strongest women I know. He was like, you'll be just fine. I was like, how do you know that? Like, no, I'm very loyal. Like, there's no way I could be okay without you. Like, you were my whole world. Like, I could not. And he just looked at me and he was like, no, he's like, I know you. Mm-hmm. He was like, you'll be just fine. He was like, if anything ever happened to me, you'd be just fine. And I just like took that moment in and I was like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I was like, it's not going to happen. So I got that moment of him telling me, like, you'll be just fine. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, you're strong. And, like, again, like, dude, I wouldn't believe the story. Like, I literally have the proof, though. Yeah. And he left for work, and then he came back, and then, like, there was this big job. It was for our family, actually, like, one of our close family friends needed work done, and Benjamin did, like, estimating. So, like, if a property had damage, he would go estimate it. Kind of like insurance adjusting kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he was really good at it. Like, he was just, like, amazing at it. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, his talents, like, if he was, like, you know, like, if anybody, like, if you have special attention and, like, growing up and, like, anything, like, and you have the right, like, funds and, like, right support, like, you could be something amazing. Yeah. And that was him. And we were on a trip. And we went and checked out a property. He had just got done driving. He just got done networking. And he was on his way to me. And he called me. And he was like, I'm on my way. I'm about 3 hours out. I was like, okay. He's like, I want to talk to you about something. I said, okay. And he was like, I think I need to go to AA. And I was like, for what? He's like, drinking. He's like, I have a problem. And at that point, like, I sat down and I just was like, he did it on his own. Because that was a struggling battle. Like, but I mean, with anybody, honestly, like, a lot of people have that struggling battle. But, like, for someone to own up to something, like, that's a big thing. But,
that's where it starts.
Yeah. And, like, I got that phone call and I was like, wow, our lives are so good. And I was like, I see a future with this man. Like, he's really cleaning up his act. Like, all the hard work and, like, leaning on each other, working through everything. Like, because if you find the right person and you just, like, stick them out, because if you have nothing, that's where, like, you know if you're with your right person, because the love is what gets you through it.
Oh, yeah.
And with him, like, when I got that phone call, I'm, like, thinking, okay. And then he tells me, and he wants to go into something called Roofers with Recovery, or Roofers in Recovery. It's a great program if you ever need help, and if you're a roofer and you think, hey, I might have a problem, or like, oh, I might be drinking, like, look into it. It is a great program. We went and watched him speak, and it was something that changed his life.
What's it called?
Roofers in Recovery. Oh, okay. And it's something that, like, it changed his life. Like, the guy it made him cry. He didn't ever like to cry in public.
That's a guy, like, thing. You don't ever want to cry.
Yeah, nah. But, like, it made him, like, change. And, like, the guy that spoke there, I forgot his name, signed a book for him. And so when I got that phone call, I was like, wow, I'm on cloud 9. Yeah. And then he hung up the phone. And, excuse me. And then I got another call. He had to stay longer in town for, like, job or meeting up with the client because someone wanted to meet him. And I got so frustrated. Like, at the time, it was a silly fight because I'm like, why would you tell me, like, you're wasting spending time with me and you're working, it's the weekend, blah, 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 blah. And I was really upset. And I'm just like, wow, like, look at, like, I don't know, like, we'll get into that. But, like, I was really upset at the time. But I was very, like, again, like, I am loyal to a fault with a man, and I'm very respectful. Like, you never talk down to a man. Now, I know that every woman has her breaking point, and it is okay for you to stand up for yourself. But just to blatantly talk down to someone for no reason. I won't do that. So I waited. I was calm. I was collective. And by the time he finally showed up at like, God, I want to say like 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, oh my God, now we can't take our time getting there. Like now we're gonna have to rush because they're expecting us Sunday morning. And like, dude, it's like you had already missed Friday night. And then you show up Saturday night at like 10 or 11.
Almost midnight.
Yeah, like you need sleep. And he's like, I'll be fine. Well, hold on. I didn't say that at first because when he finally got to the house and I just was quiet.
Silent treatment.
Yep. I was like, I ain't going to give him the satisfaction. Like, no, you're going to apologize to me. Again, looking back, I really regret that.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But I was like, no. And he still did that thing where he like got in the bed with me and cuddled me, held me close and wouldn't let me go. And I was like, I'm so fine. Like sassy as shit. And I'm like, dang gum, girl. But and then I finally got over it, and he just like starts like kissing on me. He's like a little like when rabbits eat. It's like so. Anyways, got over it, and I was like, you need to sleep. Like you need to sleep at least a little bit. So I told him to sleep for a little bit. So he slept because he didn't get much sleep Friday night because he was he had to meet up with somebody in a meeting and all this other stuff, and he only had like maybe 4 hours of sleep, then 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And then he drove all the way to me to pick me up. And then we had to go meet at this person on Sunday, like for and it was a big job. It was a silo farm of a pumpkin patch.
Oh, nice.
So it was huge.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I was like, you need to get some sleep. And he was like, no, only for a couple hours. And he wouldn't listen to me. And I was like, Ben, like, I know you think you're Iron Man, but you need to get some sleep. He's like, I'll be fine. I was like, okay. And I've watched this man do crazy jobs before, and I trusted him. So, but he did sleep for like maybe a 2-hour nap. Like, and so it was like 1 a.m. when we left. That way he would drive all the way to the property and inspect. No hotel, nothing. So we left the house. We drove all the way up like North Texas, like near Dalhart and Amarillo from like our hometown, like from like where we live in our area. And that was a long drive.
West Texas.
Yeah. He didn't like take a break. He like nothing.
It's a long drive out there.
Yeah, I passed out. I fell asleep. Like I was like, dude, I can't. I'm not Iron Woman. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't Wonder Woman. I ain't gonna pretend to be under Wonder Woman. Like it ain't gonna happen. And so I was asleep, but I woke up and I was scared to drive at the time. Like I was terrified to drive because the wreck from the 2019 with that 18-wheeler, I was terrified to drive. Like I didn't like driving because I was driving in that wreck and I thought, oh my God, like that was my biggest fear. Like, I don't want to get hit again. Like, and I thought I was superstitious. I thought if I was behind the wheel, then it would happen again. So I didn't like driving, and he knew that. But I, like, got up, and I was like, are you good? Do we need to stop? He's like, no. So we mustered through it. We got to the property. At this point, at 6 a.m., well, right before we got to the property, it was 6 a.m. He was cold. So we stopped at, like, a Walmart. I'm still, like, waking up. I'm like, where are we? And he's like, we're almost there. I was like, oh, dang. So he went in, got a jacket, came back out. And then we went to the property and did the inspection. You could tell he was exhausted. We made small talk. And the property owner, he wanted us to come because we kept telling him we'd come. We kept telling him we'd come. Like, that's why we had to make this trip because we kept telling him we'd come. We kept telling him we'd come. And then, like, we kept letting him down. And so, like, this time, like, it was our close family friend. And Benjamin was so... He wanted to please everybody. He wanted to make everyone proud, and he wanted to show, like, just, like, he can do it. Like, people doubted him, and I don't know why he felt like people doubted him, because I do know the love and support that he had. Like, people loved him, but, like, that's why I'm so important on love languages is because you need to figure that out. Like, you need to talk to your partner. You need to talk to people, because if you don't know their love language and you think you're giving them, like, oh, well, I love him. He knows I love him.
Yeah,
he might not know.
Yeah.
Because, like, you need to give them their love language.
But
and
you
that's
think
like,
they know.
yeah. And that's, like, one of the main love languages, I think, that everybody has is common sense. That is the number one love language that they don't have on there yet. But, like, a number one love language is common sense. Like, figure it out. Ask them. Like, every relationship, like, when I go on a date, I'm like, what's your love languages? Because even though it's not my love language, my one love language that's mutual with everyone is common sense. Yeah. And I can give that to you by understanding who you are, what you need, and how I can fulfill that. Because that's what love is. It's selfless. It's not selfish.
Absolutely.
And so he always felt like he had to please. And so, but like, we had to go. Like, it was one of those things where, like, he felt guilt because he wanted us to come so bad.
Yeah.
And like I will want to say like publicly, like it was not your fault, it was nobody's fault, and we'll get into that here in a second because again, God does everything for a reason. And so anyways, we did the property inspection. The property owner is nice. He invited us to lunch. We went out, and I think Ben paid for it to be nice. I don't know. It was either Ben or him. One of them did it to be nice. And Ben had just told me, right, that he wanted to be an AA, but he had 2 margaritas. And then he actually didn't even finish one of them. He had 1 margarita, he drank it, and then he stopped and he started drinking sweet tea, I think. Mm-hmm. So, but like going from like not drinking to drinking again, like in your body, like doing changes, like I don't know what it's like because I've never been addicted to alcohol. I mean, it's nice. Like I love it. Don't get me wrong. You will see wine on this show, but I'm just saying like it's just different. But with that, after the lunch, he was exhausted and I could see it. And I said, Ben, let's get a hotel or take a nap somewhere. Like just relax, like get some sleep. And then he was like, no, I feel fine. I can do it. I can do it. Like he thought he was Superman. And I just remember, like, I don't remember a lot. I didn't remember a lot of it until recently, but I remember him taking his medicine. Now, he was bipolar and he was ADHD and he took both. Yeah. And you're not supposed to take both at the same time or operate in a vehicle or whatever. I don't remember the conditions. I'm not a doctor. But so he had a margarita. He had taken his BP medicine. We call BP. It's not blood pressure. It's bipolar. He was bipolar. And, like, I'll talk about on, like, how to deal with, like, ways that I coped with that and how I made our relationship work and how that's a trial and tribulation itself. But so we start driving. And, I mean, I'm awake at this point. We're jamming out. We're having a good time. We're, like, we just helped somebody, like, we feel like everything's great. Like it just again like
got it done.
Yeah, and like it's like the weight's been lifted off, and we're like wow, and then we just look at each other and laugh. And like he was just, like he'd do this thing where he like grab like whenever you're driving and like you grab your wife's like back of the head and just rub it and just love on her and kind of stuff. That's what he was doing. He's just like being real sweet and like I mean. So, and it's just like, it was a great time. We're like jamming out and, he used to always sing to me and he would, he'd be goofy when he did it too. He was just like, he was a joy. If anybody that knew him, like, yes, he was not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but like, he was a joy. He had his moments and you can ask anybody that has ever like known him or loved him. There's just something about him that he just spread that joy. Yeah. And, we're on our way, and it starts to get dark, and we're about near, like, Wichita Falls, I think. I'm starting to get sleepy, but I'm, like, staying awake trying to do my college work because at this point I'm in college for the a medical program, and I'm like, okay, like, I need to do this. Like, I need to make something of myself, like, make my dream come true, and so I'm doing it. And he could saw that I was exhausted, and he was like, Mariah, just put it down. He's like, I'll get you home to finish the assignment before it's due. And I was like, no, I can finish it. He's like, just put it down. He's like, relax, I got you. I was like, okay. Or he said, relax, I'll get you home. And so I put it down, and I just fall asleep. His hand's like on my leg. I fall asleep to like him cuddling. And I just looked at him, and I was like, I appreciate you. I just want you to know that I love you. And he looked at me, and he said, I love you too, honey. And like, he never said honey. And I was like, okay. And then he like reached over and kissed me on the forehead and he was like, yeah, I love you. I choose you. And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but he just was like, I'm happy, Mariah. I just want you to know that. Yeah. And so, cause we had planned on having a wedding later on, but, I'm in love with 11/11. Like, my mom has stories of 11/11. I've heard stories of other people at 11/11, like, make that wish. Yeah. And so we were going to go get married at the courthouse on 11/11. Nice. And we were going to do the actual ceremony and everything else later on in the spring. I think he was wanting to do it. Because he still had to go through RCIA to become Catholic. And so
Oh,
he
yeah.
was doing it online. And he believed, like, he really genuinely loved the religion, and he loved what it stood for in our family and stuff. And so, to my knowledge. And so, yeah, so we had plans. I mean, he was like, I choose you. Like, I love you. And I was like, I love you too. And I was just so happy. Like, I just remember, like, closing my eyes to a peaceful, like, any other road trip we've ever taken. Because we were on the road a lot. Like, we always traveled everywhere. And I was just like, okay, like, this is my heaven. Like, I finally got what I deserve. Yeah. I went through everything. Like, I went through hell. Like, I got this. Like, I'm getting my blessings. And next thing I know, I wake up in a hospital. I did not remember anything. Every time I woke up, like to this day, like I only remember bits and pieces. And the one thing I can say I remember is there's an ICU nurse, and I kept having to fall back asleep because I had a brain bleed and a fractured skull, and like my head, my nose and my face, cheekbones are shattered. And I looked up and I was like, "Where's Ben?" And I see my mom, I see my dad. And then I just remember going back to sleep. And then, like, I remember getting upset because I think they tried to tell me he was gone. Yeah. But I didn't believe it until I woke up and I saw my cousin Carissa sitting on the end of the hospital bed. And she's the one person in the whole world that has my good graces, in a sense of, like, she could say anything and I'll believe her. Yeah. I look up to her so much. And she was just sitting there, and I said, "Where's Ben?" And her face said it all.
And you knew. Yeah.
I knew. But you know that stubbornness in every woman.
Yeah, you don't want to believe it at first.
I didn't believe it. I thought that they... Y'all, this is where the conspiracy comes out. I thought the government was hiding him. I thought his family was hiding him from me. I thought people were trying to keep us apart. I was like, there's no way. Like, it's Ben. He's the Iron Man. Like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. Like, you're all lying to me. Yeah. And until I saw her, I believed it. And that pain, like, the pain of me being so mad at him, like, the guilt of, like, but I honestly now, like, man, how do I even say this? Like, I was in the hospital, I was in the ICU for like a week and a half or like a week. I had just turned 26. So I just got kicked off my parents' insurance. So we couldn't afford, like, as soon as they did not recommend me leaving. But as soon as I was able to leave, we had to check out because at this point, I didn't know what was going to happen. So we checked out and I went home and I was on bed rest for like 9 months. And, like, they couldn't do any surgery. They gave me stitches because, like, this eyebrow, like, there's not, like, a lot of movement. I have, like, a scar, and that's why I wear my hair like this now, because I used to do middle part, and I'll still do middle part sometimes when I'm feeling confident, you know. But, no, so, like, they did stitches, and I got home, and at this point, I had no memory. There was an investigation because someone claimed, I'm not going to say names, but someone claimed that I killed him. I'm going to tell you something right now. Jeremy, anybody
That's
out there.
Wild.
Yeah, I'm going to let you know right now. I might love a man, and there's a totem pole. There's God, there's your family, and, you know, you can love your man, like, you can put your family next, okay? Like, but I'll tell you right now, I love myself more than I love anybody. You think I'm going to put myself through that and almost kill myself? You're out your damn mind. Like, no. I valued myself because, like, any guy that hurt me, like, cool. Like, me and Ben broke up one time and then got back together. But what I'm saying is, if a man wants to leave, they can leave. I ain't holding you. And so whenever someone claimed that I killed him and there was an investigation, the cop called me because I couldn't go to the station. It was in a different, like, way up north, and I had to be care flighted from the wreck.
There was an actual investigation.
Yes, there was an actual investigation.
Like they took that serious.
They took that seriously. They said that I caused the wreck and that I killed Ben. And the cop that did the interview.
And you don't want to talk about who said that?
I can't say who said that because I'm not going to embarrass them, because I know that when someone loses somebody, it's out of anger.
Yeah.
And I know.
People get emotional real fast.
Yes. And like they have to blame somebody. Somebody has to blame somebody.
Yes. It's natural. Like it's hard. A loss is hard. They want to put the blame on somebody.
Yeah.
On something.
But no, someone literally, like, the investigation, like, blamed me for killing him. And I'm like, honey, I love myself. And, like, I'm the cop. The cop's, like, literally, like, this whole thing. He's like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Oh, so, yeah. So he did not believe it. No. Yeah. He had to get the actual story. And I was like, I fell asleep. Yeah. I was like, I fell asleep. That was the last thing I remember. Yeah. I don't remember anything else. I literally don't remember anything else. And actually, like, someone reached out to me. I got out of the hospital. I was home. About a month later, this man reached out to me. And I'm not going to say his name out of privacy because he doesn't know I'm doing this podcast yet, and he has no idea. This soldier that was traveling through, literally, he decided to go home to his newly wedded wife. He had just got done with camp or something, or boot camp or something. He was training to be a Navy SEAL, I think, or a Navy Marine or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the exact terms, but he was training for something, and he decided to go home to his wife a night early to surprise her. Mm. And as he was driving by, like, the wrecks that was happening, apparently I flew 50 feet. I flew through the windshield. I flew 50 feet from the truck. It was a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler. Ben hit two other cars, and then it was a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler. And he turned the vehicle last minute. From what the investigation showed, he turned the vehicle last minute to where the 18-wheeler hit him instead. Not front on the vehicle. Like, so this man literally died for me. Yeah. So it's like.
That's amazing.
It is amazing because I'm like, wow, like, I know I gave him my whole world. Like, my family, we took him in. We gave him everything he ever wanted or needed. We did that. So, like, the fact that he did that for me, it's unbelievable. But anyways, he turned the vehicle last minute. Apparently, the truck, like, bounced or something. I flew through the windshield. I flew 50 feet. I landed on my head. And this soldier that's driving by sees a body in the middle of the road in the dark. His headlights hit me, and he swerves, and he gets out. And he comes right to me and gives me CPR. And, like, I think he, like, brought me back to life and stuff. And then whenever they realized that I was still alive, because Ben died on impact. But when they realized I was still alive and, like, I needed, like, it was heavy medical attention, they instantly care flighted me from, like, up where near Wichita Falls to the best trauma hospital in Fort Worth. And that's where I ended up. But he reached out to me and he told me the story because a lot of the closure that I needed was he still alive? Like, did they help him? Did they try everything they could? Like,
oh, yeah.
Those questions go through your mind because, like, when you're in love with someone, first off, you never think, like, something like that happens. You don't think about it every day. You don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. And that, for me, that was, like, a big, I don't know. That was a big deal for me. And I was blessed to have those answers because one of the cars that Ben hit was a dad and his daughter. About 8 or 10 years old.
Did they live or?
Yeah. No one got hurt other than me and Ben.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. God does amazing things. I mean, they went to the hospital and got checked out, and I only know that because, like, my insurance. But he also reached out to me, just to check on me. He was like, "I got your name from the police report. I just want to make sure you're okay." And, like, it's amazing that these people, like, talk to you and, like, reach out, and it's like, wow, thank you. I needed that. And then I asked questions about the wreck. Like, I had people give me questions about the wreck and answers that I was able to receive. And it helped a little bit because I know a lot of people don't get answers. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think that all the answers that I was given didn't really help. I was still frustrated. I was still mad. I didn't know how to grieve. And anyone I knew didn't know how to grieve except Victoria. The one that lost her man. And I reached back out to her, and I was like, I hate that I'm reaching out to you on these terms. Like, it really sucks. But I know the pain. Yeah. And that hurt more than anything in the world because I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know. I literally lost my best friend, and to this day, I always think like I miss him.
Mm-hmm.
Not as like a lover and a partner. Like yes, I do miss him that way.
Yeah.
But when you're with somebody that's you're literally your best friend,
Yeah.
dude, like if I wanted to go to a movie randomly, he would be able to be there. If I wanted to go do something wild, like he would do it with me. Like if I wanted to go to Nebraska Furniture Mart just to walk around, he would go with me. Like it's just like having that best friend. Like I miss him. Like I miss him so terribly. But like going through all of that, what helped me cope, and like there will be an episode on that because grief is something you don't play with. Grief is something that is like I like to call it a bitch because it can be helpful, but it also can be hurtful if you don't know how to get through it right. I had amazing people within that. And I will say there's just some things that like hit you differently. And the best advice and the one thing that I want to leave this with, like I'm going to wrap it up here a little bit, but like this is the one thing that I want y'all to really think about is when we're all born, even if you don't believe in God, okay? Say you don't believe in God. Yeah. Say you just believe in another universe. You believe in alternation. You believe in other lives. Cool. Well, guess what? When we're all born, there's a time clock. God knows when you're going to die. He already has your day. It's just how you die is what is up to you.
Right.
It's up to you to figure out your how. He's not going to give you a why because that's you. He gives you the payment, the path. When I'm born, he has my date. I've been in 2 18-wheeler wrecks. I've been in so many car wrecks. It's not even funny. Like it's my friend joked about me being a cat that has 9 lives, and I'm down to my last one. Because I've lived so many different lives. And my sister says that. She's like, Mariah, like, you just, like, have a story. I've been told that I need to write a book, but I ain't a fucking writer. I've been told that I need to subscript to, like, movie. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a freaking actor. I'm not going to sit here and act like all that. But, like, I do have a story. And that's the main purpose of this podcast is to let you know. And this channel is just to, like, let you know, like, no matter what you go through, you don't go through it alone. Okay? And, like, honest to God, it's just one of those things where life is so wild. We all have a time clock, and it's how you live and how you really move forward with that you are able to see it through. And so I thought, you know what? I want to start a channel. I want to talk about it. I want to help other people. And I created this whole thing, this whole ensemble. I got a gift for Christmas last year. And just to keep it like short and sweet on this side is like, I almost gave up. I mean, I had people that were helping me because I'm not tech savvy. Y'all, I work on a farm, okay? And I also, like, do other jobs. Like, I work in the city, but, like, lately, I've just been on a farm. I've been healing, recovering. I had to have a surgery on my head with, like, 37 staples, and we'll get into that another time, too. But, like, I don't know, fancy tech stuff. Like, we got Miss Belle over here. Amazing girl. I would not be able to do what she does in a million years. Jeremy over here. Yeah. And I think that, like, he's, like, one of the biggest things is, like, my saving grace because...
Thank you.
No, for real. Like, God does everything out of, like, I'm telling you, it's like, even if you don't want to believe in something, I believe in, like, a greater power regardless. And I like to choose to call him God. Your greater power could be your meatloaf. I don't know. Damn. Hell.
Meatloaf.
Yeah, you can take a bite of your meatloaf, and it's just like, oh, I can conquer today. Good for you. But what I'm saying is there's a power out there because, like, right was when I was going to give up. I had the old managing company drop me before my release date, and I apologize to everybody. I know y'all were waiting for this on 11/11, but, you know, sometimes things are a little bit better and a little bit more sweeter when you wait for it.
Yeah,
Patience is a virtue. Because, like, I met you, came out of freaking nowhere, left field, and he was like, no, I like what you stand for. I got you. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, no, I like to do this for fun. I do this for fun. Dude came up with like a whole, yeah, you came with like a whole design page, like for clothes, hats, and stuff. And I was like, wow, like God gave me someone that has helped me do stuff that I don't know how to do. Like I literally can talk all day long. I can talk your ear off. We can have a great time. So like, I want to say thank you to you. Like I don't think you realize like how big of an impact you've had on my life. And I've talked highly of you to my father, to a lot of friends of mine that like, they needed a little light and joy. Like, you've been my light, and I just want to say thank you. I will always be grateful for you, but I am also curious, why?
Why?
Why? Why do you like having such a light and joy? Like, why?
I don't know. I've had a lot of people help me. I just like to help people. I like to give. Yesterday, I met with a dude, and I gave him one of my guitars because he needed a guitar.
That's wild. I would have
I
never
love
known
it.
anyone to do that.
I feel like giving and like selflessness is where it's at in life.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I just want to say thank you because you're a big part of mine. Like, this would not
You
be
are
happening
welcome.
at all. At all. He's also a singer, y'all. Like, straight up, you need to go look at his stuff. He's actually pretty good.
Thank
Pretty
you.
good. No, you're what my dad calls the old Southern sound. Like,
Oh, really? Your dad heard my music
yes,
too?
I had to tell him about you
Oh, that's
because he's
awesome.
like, "How are you doing all this? How are you?" Because I literally have a dinky microphone that I got for Christmas, and I got a little webcam that I used
Yeah.
that I recorded in my like closet. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, this is like extravagant. Like,
Are you
this
gonna
is
share
crazy.
those?
No,
Come on.
look, I might do bloopers.
Maybe just show some clips.
I might do bloopers. I might do bloopers because I'm literally sitting there like, do, because I don't know microphones. I don't know what is gain. Like, what is gain? Like, what is a microphone gain? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
It's kind of related to the volume, kind
okay,
of.
but see, like, if you do like one switch wrong, you was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, whoa. Yo, like, you know, one time, no, I'm Gucci. I can do this as much as I need to, but I'm good. But no, so like, you just being there, like, it was weird how we met because I never met him at all. And I think you messaged me, and it was like, I have something
about
important.
the hoodies.
Well, yeah, it was about the hoodies, but it was like, I have something important to talk to you about. And I was like,
No. Oh, yeah.
yeah, because it frightened me. Because, like, when someone's like, okay, usually.
That's my sense of humor, you know?
No, but I'm saying, like, we never met.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Never met, but I had followed you. I followed your, like, music, like, a little bit, like, your career, like, what you'd posted.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he looks like an all right dude. And then, like, I like your music because of the lyric. Like, I'm a big music person, actually.
Really?
Like, I'm big on music. Yeah, big on music. If I had, like, the stamina and the balls to go out there and just fucking sing and I could do it, I'd be the next Mariah Carey. I'm telling you. Actually, I don't know about that one. We'll back up on that one. Carrie Underwood, Mariah Carey, and a little bit of, like, Reba.
Can you sing at all?
I actually can. I learned hymn music, like, for church.
Really?
Yeah, so, like, when I took singing lessons when I was little, I learned hymn music.
Yeah.
And, like, Catholic, like, our hymns and, like, old, like, stuff like that. And then it brought into just, like, the only problem with me is learning how to maintain it. Because, like, I literally, like, take Carrie Underwood and Reba on steroids. Like, it's just, like, I love it. I love to sing. I love to have fun. When I was little, I wanted to be a nun pop singer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to be a nun and a pop singer.
A nun pop singer.
Yeah, so, yeah. No, it's just, like, it was one of the things. So, like, I tried to figure out the microphone. Couldn't do it. Yeah, no, I couldn't do any of that. So, it was just, like, man, I was about to give up. And I was like, God, what's my purpose? Like, why did I survive this car wreck? Like, why wouldn't you just let me die? I fell asleep. I had someone tell me they love me. They kissed my forehead. I was literally so at peace. I would have been perfectly fine dying. And, like, I'm not scared to die anymore. And I don't say that in, like, a mental state way. Don't call the helpline. I'm not suicidal. That's a mortal sin in my eyes. And I help other people that do have those problems because that is something very important to me. There is a helpline if you need it. I mean, I've had people call it. I mean, I've even, like, reached out to it before, like, when I went through the crazy times in my life. So, like, there's nothing against that. But I was perfectly okay going that night. And it's a miracle because, yes, I had a broken skull and a brain bleed. I had all my teeth. These are my real teeth. I walked away with just a broken skull and a brain bleed. Like, and I say that lightly. They, like, just, like, yes, it was bad. Like, I had a brain bleed enough to where I lost my memory for a little bit. Like, I forgot my best friend, and she, like, had to, like, tell me who she was.
Yeah.
But, like, my memory slowly came back over time. But, like, yeah, I was like, what's my purpose? Like, what do you want me here for? And, like, I know what it's like to have everything, like, literally financially have everything in the world and then lose it all. So, like, I don't rely on that kind of stuff for happiness because, yes, I will say money can buy you happiness, but it's not pure happiness. It's happiness maintaining at the time, like, and you'll have those memories that you can, like, latch onto, but it's not pure happiness. So I just wanted to know my purpose. Like, I was very adamant and I didn't understand why. And, like, it just, like, came and, like, I was really about to give up on a lot of stuff until you were like, I'll help you. And I was like, oh, my God. So I just want to say thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I hope to have you on here more and more and more.
Yeah, anytime. Holler at me.
Oh, 100%. Because you're just like one of those people I feel like, because there's more like I want to talk to you about. But like I said, my testimony like itself is just like so much.
Yeah.
And it's just so fragile that like I know I've even like cut out a lot of it. So it's like, but anyways, I'm always going to be here. And I hope that everybody comes and listens Mondays with me, Mariah. But like I hope I can see y'all again. And like I hope you just stay and listen and really understand that like my life, like I'm very happy. I'm very content. I know what I'm meant to do in my life. And I know that somewhere out there, it'll be better to do. And I know that it'll help somebody. And hell, even if it's just for laughs, like y'all, I have so many stories that you would not believe. I'm telling you right now. It's just happened to me that you're just like, what the fuck? Like,
I can't wait to hear them.
Dude, I mean, you saw some of the episodes. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait. I already have like one dude, like he's going to talk. Yeah, nah, this is going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. So thank y'all for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you for letting me have my dream and help me get it started. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Miss Bella. Beautiful woman over here. The brains behind it all. Did you want to say anything or have any questions? Are you done?
I'm good.
You're Gucci like Coochie?
Gucci like Coochie. I do have to go to the bathroom, though.
All right. Well, thank y'all. It's time to get fuckered up. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday somewhere. I'm done. I'm sweating.
Me too.